Hey guys, good morning. Something I want to talk about today, this is something important because it's basically a crime. I have to tell you that I got a message this morning from a woman by the name of Alejandra, right? And for the last probably about 6 months, she first contacted someone else to contact me because I obviously never got back to her. I don't check all my messages often, especially on my pages. I don't really check my messages 24 hours a day or whatever. It's hard for me to stay, it's hard for me to stay, basically keep up with all my messages. So she contacted someone else that she knew I have direct contact with, obviously one of my friends, because she really wanted to expose the fact that she had been robbed and scammed by Oscar L. Blue. Okay, she had been robbed and scammed over the last approximately year and a half or so. And she really wanted to expose that. She wanted to expose the fact that her computer had been, I guess, sort of stolen, not necessarily stolen, but when you borrow something and don't give it back, it's theft. At first, it may not be. You may not require force or a crime to acquire that item or to, have that item. But if you don't give it back, then it's theft. And anyway, so she let him borrow a computer because he was complaining about not having money and not having this, not having the necessary equipment to work, which is something he does a lot. He complains a lot about not having equipment, not having air conditioning, not having microphones, phones. He's constantly requesting for people to send him money or phones or whatever it is that he needs. And in the end, you really only need a phone to do citizen journalism, which is what he does. And, or what people think I do sometimes. I consider myself an activist, an influencer, more than a journalist. I'm not a journalist. I just share my daily activities or my daily views with people, and that has created an audience. So she let him borrow a Mac computer. As you all know, Macs and iPhones through iCloud are connected. What you can access on a Mac or what you can access on your own one device, you can access on all devices. A lot of times if your iCloud is on, photos, notes, messages, sometimes you can even see phone calls, whatever. So she reached out to me back in November for the first time. I really did not pay that much attention to her as I was busy. She kept on contacted me again, I believe at the beginning of this year. And she was really, really upset because she said that she gave Oscar L. Blue from Tijuana money, and that she had sexual relations with him at a hotel here in Tijuana, and for money, and that she would always give him money, and he forgot to disclose the fact that he was married. And so she started sending me some of the conversations to prove to me that she was not lying. And as many of you know, he spent not all of, but a big part of 2019 and the beginning of 2020 up until I believe as recent as April of this year or March, attacking me and slandering me on Facebook, on YouTube. And I never really did anything about it. I just kind of let it happen. As I was in school, I was busy. And so when these conversations came out, I wanted people to see what a criminal this guy is, what a fraud he is, what a liar he is. It was really easy to prove as she sent me from her phone a lot of personal voicemails that he sent her asking her for money, different calls that she recorded that I have. She recorded with him where he goes into detail as far as why it is that he makes these videos for the audience, because he's broke. He says, I'm broke. I'm making a video. Stop calling me. I don't want to talk to you right now. He started going off on her because she was at some point refusing to give him money. She no longer wanted to give him money. He said he would marry her. He promised he would marry her. However, he did mention it would be under the condition of her letting him spend the day or the night every day in Tijuana, as she lived in San Diego. And he said, I will marry you, but I forget if it was night or day, claiming that it was because of his son in Tijuana. So, obviously she thought something was weird. So anyway, she thought it was weird. And the reason why she wanted to reach out to me was for two different reasons. Why? Because she saw the attacks on me, the public attacks on me, done by him and on his behalf by a woman named Cindy out of North Dakota, which was very obvious. He's the intellectual actor behind the attacks. Even though she is the face, she's the one that has the show, she's the one that portrays the message. It's obvious that he's the one, after the conflict started with him. And then finally, after about 8 months of attacks from her against me, cyber attacks, cyber stalking, gang stalking, cyber bullying, all of it. He was always donating money during these attacks. During the time she was attacking me on these live videos, he was there donating, he was there commenting, and they have pictures together. It's very obvious they're friends, and he was behind it as the attacks started, precisely when him and I started having conflict. And the only reason why we started having conflict, the only real reason why he started having conflict is because when Amy and Melinda and I had conflict, he was terrified of it. He's that type of man where he's like, oh, everything scares him. And the reason why everything scares him is because he's terrified of any damage to his reputation, because his reputation means donations. So if he's able to collect, to have a good name and a good reputation, and if he's able to portray this image of being this great reporter, which he's not, he's just a citizen journalist that has done some work out here, but it's not really that big of a deal. His page is not even that big. Then he, it's sort of interfering with his finances if his reputation gets damaged. With me, it's not. So I just, I really do not care. So, there's an audio of him saying, stop calling me, Alejandra. I'm broke. I have to go to the grocery store and I need to make money off these videos. I'm live. You're interrupting my live. I have that conversation, and it's a fun. I don't know why she was recording him. I guess at this point she was really upset at the fact that he had used her, and that he had that he had used her, and that he no longer wanted anything to do with her, and he was ignoring her or whatever. That sometimes we women, we can be that way whenever we feel hurt, but that doesn't change the fact that it's true that he did use her, that he did abuse her, that he did lie to her, and especially when the pornographic videos of him came out. One second. Sorry about that. When the pornographic videos of him came out, he denied they were his videos, right? So he denied the fact that the pornographic videos of him of him, doing stuff to himself were his. And so anyway, so that's what happened. And he denied to Alejandra that these videos were actually him, which it was very obvious it was him. So she became very upset because she said, what you're doing to me, you're doing to other people. You're not just doing it to me. You're doing it to other people. And I need you to stop. So when she realized that he wasn't going to stop, that he was lying to her, she reached out to me because she felt that I had a bigger reach, and obviously than her. She only has a few followers. And not only that, but she was upset at what he had done to me. She was very upset at what he had done to me. So she wanted other women to be warned. She didn't want the same thing that happened to her to happen to other women. It was, she was like, maybe he's doing this to other women. Maybe he's, trying to marry other American women for immigration papers. Maybe he's scamming money from them. Like, if I put my information out there, hopefully more people will come out. And they did. More women have come out. Apparently he was trying to date a woman by the name of Barbara, who was also married, and sending him all kinds of money, until I guess he was sort of threatened by her husband. And anyway, she shared a lot. Bottom line is that she shared dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of audios with me, and dozens of audios and videos where he is not flirting with her, but basically, calling her my love, mommy, I want you, sending her, blowing her kisses and everything else. Then she claims she contacted a man by the name of Alfredo Alvarez, who's a big reporter out here. He has, I think, over 500,000 followers, because she wanted to expose him. But this whole time he had her computer. The whole time he had her computer, her Mac computer. She posted pictures on a group chat, or not on a group chat, on a public group. And I have them, where she demands the return of her computer, and posts the serial number of the computer, and says, Oscar, give me back my computer. She would send me messages every single day. I have all her messages where she says, I asked them again for my computer. So anyway, this morning, I wake up to her messages where she says that she saw a show that Oscar El Blue made, and basically done by his friend Cindy once again. So we all know this. So our theory of him being behind these shows since the beginning is correct. Where apparently Oscar El Blue broke into her iCloud, she claims, and obtained all the information, all the conversations between her and I. All the conversations between her and I could see that being true, because iCloud, if you have access to one device, you could get access to basically the information all across all devices. So I could see that being true. However, either way, for the last 3 weeks, she had been complaining about getting threats. She had been complaining about white trucks driving to her house, okay? Driving past her house, to her house, people looking for her at her house in Tijuana. And this is the dangerous part, guys. This is what criminals do, and this is why it's really dangerous. Maybe if she lived in America, she's an American citizen and she works in America, but she lives in Tijuana, kind of like me. She's an American citizen who lives in Tijuana, goes back and forth, like me. If he knows where she lives, and she walks to work every morning, she walks to work every night, she Ubers, she walks, she doesn't own a car, she doesn't own a vehicle. So she was terrified. And for the last 3 weeks,